So, hi guys, welcome back to Hit Point In. Name's Roval. Today we are going to be looking through the patch notes for Beta 1.4.3. Came out yesterday, so most likely some of you already read some patch notes from other YouTubers. But I'm just going to go through them at my own pace, talk a little bit about them, and see what's going on. So, let's go through the single player. Crashes. Fixed crashes. I don't think I have to go and read those into details. They just fix crashes here and there. Hello, many happy man, and welcome back to the inn. Indeed. Performance. Reduced memory usage of large settlement scenes by optimizing the memory footprint of game entities. So most likely that is gonna lessen the loading screen on visiting cities, is what I'm expecting. General CPU memory usage improvement for missions and scenes. For one of our current most demanding scenes, Balgard. Is it Balgrad or Balgard? I thought it was Balgard with a G-A-R-D at the end, which is very crowded. This meant a reduction of 100 to 150 megabytes. Okay. So apparently siege problems are about 1.4.2, not confirmed on 1.4.3. Okay. Well, I did not stream yesterday, many happy man, but we'll talk about that later. Now let's just go through the patch notes. Okay, UI memory usage was reduced on the campaign map. UI binding system performance improvements were made. Great. Apparently the UI was very draining on the game and the campaign. Optimized weapon mesh loading behavior for campaign party icons in order to prevent FPS drop spikes. Alright, most likely it had a problem with the swords while loading up at the beginning of the game. And it should be okay now. Sword parts have been optimized for better performance during crafting. Maybe it caused a little bit of FPS spikes when you venture crafting and when you selected new weapon parts. I think that was a thing, but it did mention sword parts specifically, so I'm not exactly sure on that. Sieges are still broken in 1.4.3. Yeah, just to get that out of the way, apparently there's a game-breaking bug where, currently in the game, where if somebody attacks a castle, there's a chance for the garrison to automatically surrender and join your side. Hello, Stoic Legacy. Indeed. Welcome back to the inn. You don't mean regular Baroque problems. Do refactors, you insta-win sieges with 0 casualties when you attack. Good thing is, even though if we start a new playthrough, we're not going to be reaching siege stages today, so most likely they're going to have time fixing that. Alright, let's keep on going. Save and load. Fix the bug that caused troop formations to reset after saving and loading the game. Thank the louds! Oh my god. Finally. Each time I loaded up the game, I had to go in the party screen and rearrange everybody up. It hurt the soul, man. Okay, it was a minor annoyance. It's a first world problem. Fix the bug that caused settlement characters to not spawn after saving and loading while waiting in a settlement. Never met that bug. And a bug that skips the first clan income after loading the game. How dare they skip the clan income? That's my money. Right, localization, Chinese localization improvements, punctuation fixes, spelling corrections, and other localization updates. Great. Then art. They've added nav mesh edits for better AI movement in the bazaar area of Asadai Town C, whichever that city is. Nav mesh edits for better AI movement on ladders for Sturgian castles. Okay, so they might have fixed ladders, which is great. So most likely the dudes will no longer just go 2 people at a time on 4 ladders. Add a new ultra short afro hair. Thank the gods. I have no idea what I would have done without that ultra short afro hair. All of my answers have been listened to. Fix some visual issues in weapon crafting pieces. Good. Sistadine Castle now has a castle scene. Cool. Add a new Sturgian armor set. Northern Lamellar vest. Northern short Lamellar vest. Nice. We can always use more items and more weapons, more armor. Fix the physics issue with falling down and getting stuck near some of the walls. It happened to me. It happened to me. I fell with my horse off of a roof. I swear this sounds like Jackass. I fell with my horse off of a roof behind a, I don't know, 2-centimeter wooden fence, and then I couldn't get out. It was horrible, and I cried. Yeah. Not proud of the fact that I cried, but I cried. Okay, visual quality and performance improvements on trees. Right. Added 3 new old-looking Sturgian shields. Good. Fixed Northern Sloven leather armor's clipping problems. I did not know that it had problems. Defeat by a piece of wood. Indeed. Indeed. It was quite the defeat by a piece of wood. But I got over it after months of, therapy. I got over it. Now I'm not afraid of wood anymore. Not afraid of mornings. Pathfinding and nav mesh fixes in the world map. Good. Because there was a problem. You would sometimes get in a peninsula area and you could not get on the coastline. I really hope the game refers to that. You could literally not get on some beaches, and you can easily corner enemies, which is a viable strategy of cornering an enemy. But still, it felt like it was bugged. Army member icons now make a movement animation while relocating during events instead of floating. I've never noticed this, but sure. World map icon texture models materials were improved. Good. We're going to see that. Then UI changes. For those who don't know what UI is, it means user interface. It refers to the menus, the buttons, the everything. Okay, not the everything. To the menus and the buttons. That's what it refers to. A new conversation screen on the campaign map. This will allow players to open conversations on the campaign map with other parties much faster and without a loading screen. Thank God they've eliminated one of the loading screens. I think to get into a battle, you would have to go through 3 loading screens. Or, okay, maybe 2. Definitely 2. Maybe 3. But they eliminated one of those, so that's great. Implemented cheering. Players can now cheer with the key 0. Or, well, sorry, not key 0. That's key O for Oscar. Yeah. A click will play the first cheer animation, whereas holding the O button will open a cheer wheel with 4 animations in place. This is a feature in progress and will be implemented for multiplayer with more features in future patches. That is cool. I hope that they're going to be implementing not just a cheer function. I know that I don't care about multiplayer, but I really wish that people who do play multiplayer will have a good time. Number 2, but they took long, like 10 seconds. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, I really hope they implement something like strategy interactions. Something like telling the other players to, point in a general direction and say danger, or enemies are coming, or, you can literally make the character point towards the flag where you're positioning it, and make him say something like enemies are coming, or we need reinforcements there, or flank is breaking. I don't know. I know that most people nowadays have microphones and stuff like that, and at one point, well, they're either going to implement a voice chat in the game, or you're going to be using a third party like Discord or Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever you want to use. But it would be cool for those who literally do not have a microphone or don't want to talk because they're shy, to have a rudimentary system of simply pointing and offering information to the other players around. That would be cool. That would be cool. Or simply something like you, and it says that you're addressing player Booty Crack 69. You, player Booty Crack 69. I just gave it as an example, Stoic. I have no idea who still uses Skype. Booty Crack 69, you must follow me, or something like that. Let's go. Let's defend together. I don't know, something cheesy, but something that could work. So yeah. This is, I see a lot of potential in the implemented cheering system. I am curious to see where this is gonna go. But I swear to God, if I start seeing stupid Fortnite dances or shit like that, I'm just gonna lose all hope in the implemented cheering system. We'll see. Okay, custom battle improvements. Now the select a map text disappears on editable area focus, and all maps are visible on drop down upon area selection. I have no idea what that means. I'm not exactly sure if it's the phrasing, but I just don't understand what that means. Now siege machine slots are selectable by default, so players can start siege maps right away with pre-selected siege engines. Yeah, that's great. That's a good option because, especially for new players, when they start a siege, they don't even know that they have the option of building siege engines and stuff like that. They just see like, what's this square on the ground do? And they click, and holy shit, I can build siege engines. So yeah, the fact that it automatically selects the places for you is very good for newer players, and also very good for being efficient, for not wasting time and giving the enemy an advantage of building those siege engines themselves. Okay, wall stat options are now solid, single breached, and dual breached, instead of the previous 150 and 0. I don't even know where the 150 and 0 was. I have no idea where that appeared. I just saw a bar. I just saw a health bar for the walls, and that was going down as my siege engines did the trick. Well, siege engines, trebuchets, because those are the only viable ones. Some minor text changes and bug fixes. What minor text changes and bug fixes? We don't know. Do the devs know? We have no idea. Now, equipment of units. This is a big one. I actually read it last night. I'm excited for this one. Now, equipment of units in the encyclopedia is inspectable by hovering over their respective icons in their encyclopedia page. This is pure sex. This is going to give us more options of analyzing troop trees and choosing the right soldier for the right job. This is something before we could not see the equipment on soldiers. We can only see their stats. Now we can see both. So that's a clear improvement. And to be honest, that's not even an improvement. That's simply normal. Thank you for fixing it, I would say. Added map event, battle and raid sound events. Okay, I guess I'm gonna figure that out, what that means. The legend of the SP scoreboard is always visible now for easier reading. The legend of single player scoreboard. Okay. Legend header will still be visible after the legend header is scrolled out of frame. I guess I'm going to find that in the game as well. Right side circle map and notifications will open their respective screens with the featured item selected by default. Clicking on the newborn notification will open the clan screen with the newborn hero selected by default. Thank God. So practically they're fixing some UI changes. Added missing one-handed polearm leadership perk icons. It literally refers to the art. The art on the buttons. So if you've seen a perk that has a lock drawn on it, they've replaced these locks with actual images. Well, small little drawings. So that's what that is referring to. The culture of a settlement can now be viewed on the settlement's encyclopedia page. Sure. That's some good information. In case factions start just conquering willy-nilly, it's going to give you an idea of what was the original owner of that village or that fief. Also, this is a clear indication that you still cannot change the culture of a settlement. Or it might be the other way around, and you can change you can now change the culture of the settlement by conquering it. And now it's going to actually state in the encyclopedia page which one it is currently. So, yeah, that's also cool. Update to mask and seal imaging crafting. Womp womp. Fixes. Fix the hyperlink in the name of the conversed character in the conversation screen. Awesome. It always defaulted to your own character. So that's a good fix. Well, there was an easy workaround for that. You would just click on the link. It would default to you, and then you would just search his name. So that was cool. Guten Miata, welcome to the end. You had some massive CPU spikes that have ruined 2 saves in 1.4.3. Just a heads up. Thank you. I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep it in mind when I get in there. If it dies, it dies. We'll see. Fixed a vertical placement error in the campaign options pop-up. Okay. Fixed a bug that caused babies and children to have visuals in Encyclopedia and Clan screen, and Encyclopedia page for children no longer shows enemies, allies. Well, of course, they're children. They don't really have enemies and allies yet. Battles and sieges. Adjustments to the hideout encounter. The player now has 2 options to enter a hideout. Either simply charging in which it will select his highest level troops for the mission, or to manage his roster from a party screen. Yes! Thank you! Another clear improvement. And this is actually an improvement. This is not a fix, because this option was not present in Warband. So yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. The fact that I can now select exactly the troops that I want to engage a bandit hideout, that's pure sex. Bandit counts in the mission were balanced. Okay. Bandits that do not fight in the duel can be taken as prisoners. Great. Before those bandits, if you did not knock them out manually through a bug, they would simply run away after the battle. They'd be like, okay, we're just going to go now. And they literally left and appeared on the map afterwards. A new save will be created once you load a save on an older version. Did you delete the old ones? Oh, well, I've just deleted all of my saves, but you've spoken that with the Gutid Miata. Alright. Worked for a while, but eventually both ran into a situation where CPU just spiked to 100 usage. Everyone re-entering the map, it would permanently stay there. Did you try restarting the game and going back in? Okay, now, character development system. They did some changes, well, at least in the beta patch, they did some changes to leveling up. A new system for XP sharing, where after a battle, a portion of upgrade experience earned by troops will be distributed to the rest of the party. Thank the fucking gods. So that means, well, thank the devs. That means it's no longer that difficult to level up soldiers. It means I think they reverted back to the old warband system, which is great. Now I'm not going to have to get 50 recruits butcher throws fire and sword just to level up 5 up. Well, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't that hardcore. But practically now leveling up an army should be faster, which is great. Until now, it was very, very punishing for you to lose one battle, because if you lost one battle, that meant you would have if you did not have any reserve troops in a garrison somewhere, that meant you would have to go around with recruits and most likely getting your ass kicked for a few months until you were capable, in-game months, until you were capable of bringing some decent soldiers out. So that is awesome. Happened on both saves. Okay. Only thing that really bugs me are that infantry formations with the cavalry leader make it act like a cavalry unit. Oh, yeah, Many Happy Man, that's actually very easy to fix. You just tell the entire unit, so the infantry or the archers, to dismount. And out of all of them, the only person with a horse will dismount. It happens in armies that you don't control. Well, no, it happens in armies where you are the leader, you're the marshal, and the lords are, you know, part of the infantry or the archers or something like that. You hired 180 recruits, fought against 5 looter parties, and 40 leveled up, even though you killed all the lords yourself? Wow, that is... Okay, that might be too OP. Yes, you do that now, but every single battle it happens? No, I perfectly understand that every single battle it happens. You just gotta make it muscle memory at the beginning of the battle to just dismount your infantry and archers. I know it's stupid, but afterwards they revert to their normal formations, which is great. Okay, the only downside is you can't use certain party leaders as cavalry, like they're intended to be, so whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the rest. Character levels now depend on raw experience collected from skills rather than skill level increases. Overall, this should make it easier to focus on a particular set of skills, and it should also be easier to level up overall. Now, you don't have to grind that stupid, I don't know, trade or smithing or something useless for you to gain 1 extra level. You crashed after character creation on 1.4.3, 18 gigs for nothing. Hopefully that's not going to happen to us, Tutufuzi. Welcome to the end. Well, the enemy has the same problem. Archers are way too OP now, because infantry units that charge at you are very slow because of it. I see. Well, we'll just figure it out. I don't think it happened to the enemy units. Or at least they had normal infantry positions, even though I saw their leader being on a horse within the infantry formation. Well, we'll just fire it up, but for right now, we're just going to read through everything. Okay, some of the calculations of perks were wrong because primary and secondary increment types were not divided. This was fixed. Okay. Skill effects were not applied to non-hero agents. This was fixed. Not applied to non-hero agents, so it did not... So, practically passive skill effects that affected all of the troops were not applied to anybody. Well, that's shitty. Added 10 new athletic perks for the campaign side and prepared the UI for the combat mission perks. And added 7 new writing perks for the campaign side and prepared the UI for the combat mission perks. So this is their way of saying they reworked athletics and writing, and we're going to read through athletics and writing once we get into the game. Fixed bugs for the perks Confident and Public Talker. Fixed a bug with the Wholesaler and Appraiser work. Profits should now be marked. I hope they're marked because they were always bugged. I think just in one patch that actually worked. Clan and party. Just clan members to make sure each clan has a number of combatants appropriate to its tier. At least one combatant for tier 1 and 2, 2 for 3 and 4, and 3 for 5 and 6. Combatants are characters that are reasonably skilled for leading parties. Okay, so practically, based on the clan level, you're going to be having one noble or one figurehead who's capable of combat. Fix an issue that prevents the player from naming one of their children if they had twins. It never happened to me, but never had twins, but okay, good to know. Parties that fled from players in the mission battle should now also try to escape from the main party on the campaign map. Ooh, okay, a little bit of an AI improvement. Fix an issue with marrying a hero with a party that caused the spouse to be stuck in a neutral party. The hero should now be added to the player clan, while the other clan's party will disband. Good. Fix the bug that enabled players to create parties with heroes that are on the run from their captors. I've never encountered that. Cultural home settlements are properly assigned at the beginning of the game. The general home settlement selection algorithm was improved. The non-party hero wandering algorithm was also improved. Okay. Fix the bug that caused home settlements not update upon marriage, and fix the bug that caused some home settlements to be set wrong if family member was in a different clan. So practically, if a character, figurehead, was plucked out of a clan, it would fuck a lot of things up. That was fixed. Good. It's not something that you see on the front end while playing, but it's something that affects factions and characters on the back end, so that's cool. Hey PRs, welcome back to the end, my man. Fix the bug that, okay. Skill and trait generation for children was improved. Problem with excessively low or high skill offspring should be resolved. Oh, thank God. Because I had 2 kids that were useless and a kid that was God. I swear to God. So I had 3 kids. 2 kids practically had non-existent stats, like a kid should. Because, well, they have to grow up and learn. And then I had a kid who was Jesus, who was super strong in two-handed, even though it was a 5-year-old. I have no idea how that worked. So yeah, I'm glad they fixed that. Face and body property selection for children was improved. Good. Fixed an issue that caused children to be born in the wrong settlement. I just imagine the missus just standing in position ready to deliver the baby and just poof, shoots the baby across the lands in a different village. Amazing. They shouldn't have fixed that. They shouldn't have fixed that. They should have left that in the game. The baby cannon. They should have called that the baby boom. The baby boom. Yeah, that was good. Laughing at my own jokes. Fuck, I'm sad. Alright, so armies. Fixed a bug that allowed mercenaries to create armies. I've never seen this happen. Glad they fixed it. Hey, Corona Varenzia. Welcome back to the end. Kingdom and diplomacy. Let's see what they've changed here. So adjustments to the war and peace evaluation. Yeah, that's actually very, very good that they've adjusted it. Okay, they're saying adjusted, but I'm going to call it fixed. Because there were situations where a faction had 2 fiefs and lost around 2 fiefs in a war against the enemy, and they were clearly on the losing foot, on the losing end. And I tried to convince them to go for peace, but they were like, nah, we will fight to the end. We were outnumbered 10-1, but we will fight, and we will retake our lands and shit. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, bro. You barely have parties with 20 men into them. You gotta broker for peace and lick your wounds and grow your army, and afterwards maybe challenge them again. But until then, fuck that. Broker for peace. Pay $100. Pay 100 dinars as tribute. Okay, so fix the bug that caused the player party to be teleported after a successful siege barter. Never seen that happen. It is now more difficult for lords to defect. That might have been an issue. Because that was the main tactic that we used to increase the, well, population / fief hold number / kingdom in my previous playthrough. We would practically convince the leaders of clans to defect to our side, and thus bringing all of their fiefs with us. So apparently this is going to be more difficult now. Even when they have no settlements, lords will typically not defect if they have a good amount of money. This means that the money they have affects their desire for defection. The player now also gains relation after a lord joins his kingdom via the defection barter, and the defecting lord loses relations with his old king as well. Good. That's nice. So we do receive a relation reward if we do convince somebody. Fix the bug that... Okay, fixed and enabled the Succession Kingdom decision that triggers on royal death for the player and the AI. But does the player die now? That is the real question. Also, Well, I guess you could execute... Yes, you do have the option to execute men, so I guess it refers to that, not necessarily to the chance of just dying in battle. Fix the bug that led context-dependent barterables to have no effect. Oh, well, it still doesn't have an effect. Fix the bug that caused a wrong dialogue variable to appear while trying to convince an enemy lord to join the player's faction. Fix the bug that caused the voting system to ignore player participation in some decisions. Yeah, that happened to me. I tried to vote on something, and I've invested around, I think it was the second option, 100 influence in it, and literally the percentages did not change whatsoever, so thank you. Thank you for fixing that. Sturgeon default party template strength increased to better match with other factions. Or make Sturgeon soldiers stronger. Or, hey Nikolov, welcome back to the inn. Or remove the bonus to horses in simulations. Just a thought. But sure, I guess that's going to put a patch on the big problem. It's going to put a small little band-aid on the giant festering bleeding wound. That's going to fix it. Oh yeah, we're going to new game it up, Nikolov, after we finish reading through the patch notes. Alright, let's see. Add a notification for resolved kingdom decisions that the player didn't vote in. Okay. Fix the bug that caused diplomatic stances to be removed for a kingdom when one of its clans was removed. Oh, right. Maybe this explains why some factions went back to war right after they've declared peace. Fix the bug that caused heroes that are in related kingdom settlements to not be captured or released after peace or war declaration. That's good. Reduce the duration of the no attack safe passage barter. Maybe it was too long. Fixed an issue with persuasion that caused failures to trigger instead of critical failures. Oh, boo-hoo. The king's chances of being a candidate for and winning ownership of a newly captured settlement were reduced a bit. Yeah, I've noticed in the previous playthrough that kings were kind of hogging land. They were getting their grubby hands on a lot of fiefs. Fix the bug. Okay, so for economy and trade, fix the bug that caused a mismatch between town project bonus description and their actual effects on the town. Some raid logs were added twice. This was fixed, and raid logs are more informative now. Okay. Reggae the Greedy, not just reggae. I've also seen this in Batania. I've also seen this in Kuzait. So it practically became a problem. And if you were trying to conquer back your lands, you would just fight against the clan that... You would just fight against a ruling clan, which was kind of silly. Okay, so quests and issues. Add a new quest. Landlord needs manual laborers. A new main storyline quest named Rescue Your Family was added to the game. That's awesome. So we're finally going to be rescuing our brother or something like that. The one you really fucking hate is Munchuk. Okay, good for you. So you're hating on the Kuzite. Let's see. Extortion by deserters updated and fixed. And practically, there are the fixes. I'm not going to go through them. Gang leader needs weapons update and fix. Players will no longer be able to get the quest if they're the owners of the quest element, which is good. You only play Empire. You have no experience with other kings. I see. Fixed a bug that allowed... I've played with Empire. I've played with Kuzite. I've played with Sturgia until now. I'll have to check the other kings, how they act. Fix a bug that allows players to try persuade multiple times with save and load. Right. Training for retainers issue quest update, so a lot of fixes there. Required grain amount was increased for the Headman Needs Grain Seed quest. Fix a bug that caused a wrong dialogue option to appear. Alright, conversations and encounters. I'm just gonna skip the quest section because they're only fixes, and the only thing that they've added practically is the new quest for Landlord Needs Manual Laborers, and they've added a new main quest line, which we're going to be playing. The new main quest is cool. You can finally get your overpowered brother as a hero. Okay, Crown of Berenzia. We kind of expected that. Maybe because they declare right after I killed 2 of their 1,000 armies and peace out. Maybe, Manny Happy Man. Alright, so, conversation encounters. Fix the bug that caused the Lord's Hall guards to act like horrible mercenaries. Never seen that happening, but I never talked with the Lord Hall guards. Guarders. Fix the bug that caused ally party heroes to act like enemies when the player encounters an enemy and tries to talk to the allied army member. Weird. A bug that allows players to talk to notables via the request a meeting with someone button. Right. Bug when calculating the difficulty of a persuasion option. Thank God. Fix the bug that caused the wrong encyclopedia page to open upon clicking the name of the conversed character in conversation. We actually read about this above, so that's cool. Fix the bug that caused dialogue problems when the player asks an NPC to find another NPC in tavern missions. Fix an issue that caused players to get stuck in a conversation when they try to talk to wanderers in settlements that were owned by the player's map faction. And actually, that happened to some of my viewers. And they were pissed that they could not leave the conversation. Hey, Mr. Debt. Welcome back to the end. This patch definitely buffed me. Fuck yeah, it buffed me. Let's see. What else? Fixed an issue. Okay. Other. Now this is going to be the interesting part. Troop updates and fixes. So faction troops now use a greater variety of weaponry. Awesome. Mercenary Cavalry units now use spears. Double awesome because Mercenary Cavalry was pretty fucking useless. They were practically shieldless one-handed dudes on horses that would most likely get killed. Happened a lot. Hey Jacob, cool. Welcome back to the end, dude. Mercenary units now possess proper skill points and are in correct unit groups. Thank God we're no longer going to see mercenary crossbowmen in the infantry department. Awesome. Mercenary Guard and Mercenary Cavalry have slightly better weaponry. Good. Sturgeon Brigand, Hardened Brigand, and Horse Raiders units now also have spears. Good. Sure. Basic level 6 units of faction units now have a chance to carry and use tier 2 weapons. So, basic level 6 units, is that referring to recruits? I guess it does. Battalion Oathsworn now use javelins. Buff for Battania. Battalion Scouts changed their horses to Battanian ones. Sure. Astro Mameluke Regular and Astro Youth now count as cavalry units. Good. I think that it was a mounted unit that was set in the infantry department. The fuck. So yes, great. Mameluke Heavy Cavalry now uses a different bow. I guess we're gonna have to go into the game and see which one. Different horse colors bring the rainbow on the battlefield. Start the game already? No, Mr. Dutt. I'm reading through all of the patch notes. If you don't like it, piss off. Alright. Astro Tribal Horsemen now have javelins. Good. Khuzite Torgans now carry swords in addition to their original weaponry. Good. A little bit of extra melee defense if they get shot off their horse and they have to fight in melee. Khuzite Darkhan units can carry better javelins. Right? Khan's Guard now also carry one-handed maces. Ooh, why? I feel like that's a direct buff to Khan Guard. One-handed maces. Khuzite Spear Infantry now uses throwable spears. That's another buff. Levy Crossbowmen now count as ranged units, as they should. Fuck yeah, as they should. Alright, fix the bug that caused a notification that tells the player their relation with themselves decreased. I guess this falls in the other category. Fix the bug that caused settlement healing effects to not work. Another bug that caused lords not to move when they were asked for a board game. Thank God. Stopped lords from moving when they were asked for a board game. Isn't that the same thing? Is that literally the same thing? Only it's stated differently? Right? Nobody proof checks this shit? Characters would not properly show their age, look younger in missions. This was fixed. Good. Thank God they took out my wrinkles and shit. Fixed an issue that caused crashes in tournaments for mods that added new cultures to the game. Really? There were mods that added new cultures? That's cool. And fixed a bug that prevented child nobles from spawning in the Lord's Hall. And a bug that caused child heroes to be added to tournaments as participants. Huh. Hideouts will no longer give the settlements healing boost to parties. Fix a bug that caused wanderers to spawn in the same position in taverns. Okay, so they practically would be on top of each other. Fix a bug that caused some horses to have the same colors. Racist. editor UX cleanup for modding tools, asset override systems for the modding tools, modding support for sound system. Thank God we can now mod the sound. Attempt to hit us with some Shrek music. Internal refactoring and code cleanup. I hope they cleaned that shit properly. Not move and stop is different. One is moving already, other one is standing. Okay, sure. Well, it's fixed, so that's good. Multiplayer. Do I even gonna go through this? Multiplayer. Pause. Read. Moving on. There. So this is practically for both single player and multiplayer. These are the changes. Fix the crash that occurs during mission loading. Great. Cloth simulation now uses fewer CPU resources. Great. So practically just a overall improvement to frame rate, or it should be. Animations removed given velocities to riders falling backwards from mounts, which cause an unnatural movement. Alright, so more realistic death. Fixed wrong movement animation on users while rotating a siege machine. Good. Shield hit inverse kinematics improvement. Okay, I have no idea what that means, but sure. Replaced placeholder animations with motion capture animation for death by fire explosion. And replace placeholder animation with motion capture animations for death by arrow, back direction, shoulder, and back. So again, more animations to show cooler ways for people to die. That's awesome. Combat. Fix the flaw in the weapon wielding logic that allowed wielding weapons while mounted that are supposed to be disallowed. Also, they need to fix those perks that allow you to utilize certain disallowed weapons on mounts. Active combat actions of an agent no longer get locked while given an order or using an object machine. Good. And third-person camera height formula is adjusted so that the character covers less space on the screen when the camera is very close to it, allowing a better view while fighting. Perfect. Two-handed weapons can now crush through a block on overswing attacks. Awesome, like they should, I would say. Crush through was printing 2 different damages. It's fixed. So you practically would do double damage or something like that. Glad that is fixed. And others implemented the first-person camera movement behavior while mounted option, which actually did not change anything before. So it changed anything now? Right. So practically there are different animations that take place when you're in first person, and different animations when you're in third person. Fixed a bug where some throwable weapons disappear after the attached agent dies. Good. Be ready to skip the next multiplayer patch. It'll be huge. Okay, man. No problem. Also, there's another thing that they added that's not mentioned here, but it is mentioned in the main branch patch notes. They've added auto block to the game. They've re-added auto block. I think it's based on popular demand. Your character can now auto block it up. Okay, so we're now going to get into the game. We're gonna look at some of the new perks for athletics and for riding. Welcome back to the end. That's gonna be fun. Righty. And now we're gonna have to choose some perks. We're gonna add that directly to two-handed. I think that's a priority right now. And for the charm, we're gonna go... When introducing yourselves to the lords for the first time. So last time that was bugged. Let's give it another shot. See if they fixed it. Because this was giving us random increase in relations without even meeting people. It was glorious and stupid at the same time. So we're gonna go with that. We know our quest. And now let's check the new perks. You get a problem with YouTube? Don't know if it's common? Your recommended videos just don't change no matter how much you refresh your page or whatever you do. Try to clear cookies and cache. Right? So, polearm. So they did not rework bow, crossbow, and throwing, and they jumped directly to riding and athletics. Or did they? No, they didn't. These are the same ones. The perks in riding category have bugged icons? Of course they have bugged icons. They're not bugged icons. They simply haven't added any art to the icons. That's all. So, let's read through riding, and then we're going to read through athletics, because since this is going to be an athletics character, that's where we're going to be focusing on. You try that even reinstalling the browser too? It happens on your phone too? I don't know, Demonius. Try watching something different. See if it's going to change afterwards. So, writing. Full speed. Increases your charge damage by 20%. Mounted troops in your formation gain 10% charge damage. Okay. Nimble Steed. Increases your maneuverability by 10%. Mounted troops in your formation gain plus 30 riding skills. And riding gives you maximum mount difficulty, horse speed, and a horse maneuverability increase. Okay. Out of the two, I would say... I guess I'm going to go with Nimble Steed. Because an increase in charge damage by 20... The charge on horses in the game, in its current state, is not really that high, so probably would go Nimble Steed. Well Strapped. Increases your mount HP by 20%. Mounted troops in your formation gain 10% HP to mounts. And Veterinarian, or Veterinary. When your mount falls in battle, it has a 50% chance of getting lame instead of a 100% chance. Government settlement gains plus 1 prosperity per day. Really? So in the current state of the game, there's a 100% chance for your horse to get lame if you fall. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a 100% chance in the last patch. Also, many happy men, I am aware that athletics skills have been changed. That's why we're focusing on athletics, because most people will not be focusing on athletics because they prefer horse riding, and I want to see if athletics is viable. The fuck? Your horse died at least 50 times and it's still perfectly fine? Without this perk? Okay, yeah, I thought so. Probably going to be getting well strapped. Pneumatic Traditions increases mounted infantry campaign speed by 30%. Melee cavalry in your formation gain 10% speed damage bonus. Holy shit, this is a overpowered perk right here. So I hope there's something similar in athletics that can be equal to that, because this is just powerful. Filled to Brim increases carry capacity of pack animals by 20%. Better deal for buying and selling mounts. Okay, this might be good if you're going to be trading a lot with horses. The increased carry capacity is not that big of a deal because you'll usually just be hoarding horses like a motherfucker at all times. So, yeah. Probably going to be taking Pneumatic Traditions if I was focusing on writing. Sagittarius decreases mounted accuracy penalty by 15%. Mounted archers in your formation gain minus 15% mounted accuracy penalty. Wow, that is OP if you go with Kuzait. Incredibly powerful. Sweeping Wind increases your mount's top speed by 5%, increased campaign speed by 2%. Nah. Sagittarius. Definitely Sagittarius, especially if you're going to be focusing on a mounted archer army. If you're not going for a mounted archer army, then yeah, most likely just charging your soldiers faster into the enemy's face would be the way to go. But even so, I feel like that's just more powerful. Okay. Relief Force. If you join an ongoing battle of your allies, your party starts with plus 10 battle morale. Mounted troops in governed settlements garrison provide 20% more security. Yeah, I've not seen morale being a major factor in a battle, so not sure how good that is. Mounted Warrior. Increases your melee damage while mounted by 5%. A melee cavalry in your formation gain 5% to melee damage. So a flat-out combat buff. You can confirm that you have that skill and it's very strong. The 50% is noticeable. I'm sure it is, my man. I'm sure it is. I'm sure Sagittarius is OP right now. Horse Archer increases your range damage mounted by 10%. Melee cavalry in your formation gain plus 5% to melee damage. So womp. I guess you would go for a Horse Archer simply because of the 10% flat damage buff instead of the 5%. Again, if you're focused on melee, go for Mounted Warrior. If you're focused on range, go for a Horse Archer. Pretty straightforward. Riding Horde decreases campaign speed herding penalty by 50%. Campaign speed herding is pretty insignificant as it is, so I'm not exactly sure if they've buffed the herding penalty. We'll see. Governed settlements, bound villages have better chance to produce tier 2 horses. That might be good just for the second effect. Breeder. Animals in your inventory have a very low chance to reproduce. Governed settlements, bound villages have 5% production. Okay. This first perk, I think, can be abused. Let's say you just trim your herd every few weeks in-game. Let's say you gather up 200 horses. Yeah, they reproduce, Stoic Legacy. Let's say you gather up 200 horses. You keep a exact count on how many horses you have. 100 horses of this, 100 horses of this, 100 horses of this. And then you just make your own horse farm. And each time there's a surplus, you trim the herd and you sell and you make a profit. So from that perspective, breeder sounds interesting to explore, I would say. But if you're not interested in that shish, probably riding horde. Again, it depends on the gravity of the herding penalty. That's it. Alright, Thunderous Charge. You cause 20% more battle morale penalty with melee kills while mounted. Mounted troops in your formation cause 10% more battle morale penalty when they kill enemies in melee. Seems pretty powerful. You cause 20% more battle... Okay, Annoying Buzz. You cause 20% more battle morale penalty with range kills while mounted. Mounted troops in your formation cause 5% more battle morale penalty when they kill enemies unranged. So again, if you focus on a melee cavalry army, Thunderous Charge. If you focus on mounted archers, Annoying Buzz. But the very low chance, how low is the chance? I don't know, Many Happy Man. It might be 1%, it might be 2, it might be 5, it might be 10. But I still feel like it's worth checking out. Some of these writing skills sound cool, if they work, that is. Indeed, they do. Mounted patrols. Prisoners in your party are, not is. Prisoners in your party are 50% less likely to escape. Not is. Not is. Proofreading that shit, boys. Proofreading. Prisoners in governed town are... Prisoners in governed town are 50% less likely to escape. Mounted patrols sounds incredibly needed in the game because your lords, your enemy lords who are prisoners, escape like it's nobody's fucking business. Cavalry tactics. Cavalry troop volunteering rate in the towns your clan govern increased by 30%. Mounted troops in governed settlements garrison have 50% reduced wages. I'm not exactly sure if this can become a problem in late game, but I guess that's a good thing. Gonna take forever to get to 200? Indeed it will. Indeed it will. Dauntless Steed. Increase your stagger damage threshold by 50% while mounted. Mounted troops in your formation gain +5 armor. Well, good thing that armor doesn't do anything in the game. Tough Steed. Increases your mount armor by 20%. Mounted troops in your formation gain 10 mounted armor. Oh, sorry, mount armor. So this affects the horseman, this affects the horse. I think Tough Steed is the one to go for. Riding isn't hard to get. If you have a lot of focus points and especially if you have a ranged weapon as well, then yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of riding points. You have 140 riding at level 21, which took you 3 days of playing. Okay. The Way of the Saddle increases your charge damage and maneuver by 1 for each 10 riding skill over 200. So at 275, you would gain 7 extra charge damage and 7 extra maneuver, and you can keep on going. Only 3 focus points though, so capped. Oh, okay. That's your choice if you only invested 3 focus points. Okay, so I still feel like the perks are a little bit underwhelming. I wish these would be, I don't know, a little bit more OP, a little bit more cool. I mean, I feel like which one was it? This one, Sagittarius, should be a little bit down on the line, because that sounds broken. Okay, athletics. So this is going to be the one that we're going to be going for. Oh wow, they actually added all of the perks here. That's cool. Let's see. Morning exercise increases your movement speed by 10%. Foot troops in your formation gain 5% movement speed. That sounds amazing. Well built increases your maximum HP by 5. Foot troop in your formation gain 5 HP. Ooh, that is a tough one to choose. So, increased survivability or increased combat capabilities? I probably would go with morning exercise, especially if I'm going to be focusing on some shock soldiers. Just making them faster on the battlefield to catch down enemies would be great. So probably going to go morning exercise. The extra 5 HP, I'm not seeing it saving you for enemy fire or from, you know, a head slash or something like that, especially if you're on max difficulty like I am. Fury. While on foot, your weapon handling is increased by 10%. Foot troops in your formation gain plus 10 handling. And form-fitting armor decreases your armor weight by 30%. Tier 3 plus foot troops, your formation gain 10% movement speed. Form-fitting armor might be the way to go. Form-fitting armor, because I've seen the movement speed of your soldier when you have heavy armor, so yeah, form-fitting armor sounds sexy. Fury is not so much. As I understand, handling is simply the length of the sword where if you connect it to the enemy, it'll do damage. Do proper damage, you know, practically the bladed side. The damagey side. So I'm probably going to go with form-fitting armor. Having going. What? Having going? Weirdly named perk. Is that a phrase, an expression in English or something? Slowly increases your persuasion chance and increases your party size by 5. How is this related to athletics? Do I have some amazing footwork, and while I'm distracting the dude with my sexy footwork, he's like, oh yeah, you've convinced me. Yes, holy shit. You just stroll through town with your amazing footwork, and 5 other dudes are like, I want to follow that man. I want to learn that amazing footwork. That is fucking medieval Michael Jackson. I want to learn that shit. So I'm a little bit confused how they've added this perk to the athletics skill. I don't know. This feels like something that you would see in Charm or Leadership. Stamina. Increases crafting stamina recovery rate by 50%. Increases your prisoner size limit by 5, and decreases in prisoner escape chance by 10%. Fuck yeah, stamina wins. just grab stamina right off the bat. By the late game, you're not going to be having any party size problems, especially since I'm going to be recommending you to be the steward for your party. I recommend that you be the steward. Trust me. Okay, let's see. Sprint. When no shields and ranged weapons are wielded, gain 10% faster movement. Infantry in your party gain 10% movement speed. So just a flat buff. Hello, Sultan Hakim. Welcome to the inn. Welcome back to the inn, actually. Thank you for becoming a follower. Astro, Sultanate? Someday. Someday, mate. So, Sprinty the Sprint. When no shield and ranged weapons are wielded, does that refer to the character having equipped? So can I have a shield and a ranged weapon equipped on my character and I'll gain that 10% movement speed? Or do I just need to not have that equipped whatsoever? I'm not sure. Powerful. 4% increased damage with any melee weapon you wield. Troops in your formation gain 2% more melee damage. That is nothing. 4% increased damage is nothing. I'm probably going to go with Sprint. And hopefully it's how I said it. If I equip just my two-handed sword, even though I have a bow and arrow on my, on my other equipment slots, the sprint effect will go through. So I'm going to be getting Sprint here. Surging Blow increases your speed damage bonus by 30% while on foot. Foot troops in your formation gain 30% speed damage bonus. That sounds good. Braced decreases your charge damage taken by 50%. Foot troops in your formation take 50% decreased charge damage. Again, charge damage is not really that powerful, so probably Surging Blow will be the way to go, especially since we're going to be testing out shock soldiers. So yeah, Surging Blow. Walk It Off increases your map hit point regeneration by 10% while traveling. Foot troops in your party gain +3 experience every day while traveling. Okay. A Good Day's Rest increases your waiting hit point regeneration by 10%. Foot troops in your party gain 10 XP every day while waiting in a settlement. Probably this is better, especially if you're going to be just getting out of a fight where you have a lot of injured soldiers. A good day's rest might be the way to go, simply for the extra plus 10 XP. But you are going to be walking a lot. And it's your map HP. But does this affect party leader and party leader? Does this affect your entire party or just your character would be the question. Probably going to be getting Walk It Off. Healthy Citizens increases your endurance attribute by 1. Governed settlement gains +1 loyalty per day. Okay, too bad that you can't really govern a settlement yet in the game. This is most likely a perk that's more useful on a companion. Energetic. Party suffers 20% less speed penalty from being overburdened. 20% health increased in villages you govern. Yeah, definitely Healthy Citizen. I'm not going to be getting energetic simply because if you're overburdened, you just dump shit. And you're not going to be dumping stuff if you're overburdened, if you're super close to the city. And if you're super close to the city, that 20% less speed penalty is going to mean nothing to you. So, energetic is useless slash underpowered or something. I have no idea in what scenario you would want to be overburdened. You would be like, oh shit, I am overburdened all the time. I should take energetic. I don't think that's going to happen much. Okay, steady. Increases your control attribute by 1. Good. Governed farm, mine, lumber camp, clay pit production increased by 10%. And strong increases your vigor attribute by 1. Foot troops in your party gain 5% campaign speed. Probably strong. Well, you're probably going to be getting strong if you're going to be focusing only on melee. You're going to be getting steady if you're focusing on an archer character. In this case, I'm probably still going to be going for strong here, simply because vigor is one of my worst stats. Okay, strong legs decreases fall damage taken by 50%. Kick damage is doubled. While besieged, governed settlements consume 20% less food. Because you have strong legs? What? You have more meat on your bones, so the villagers can chew more on them? What does that have to do with anything? What? Oh my god, our king has strong legs. We shall eat less. Where? Where does that make sense? Also, decreased fall damage, you never fall. You, most of the times, will not fall down. So, very situational. I mean, if you're in a situation, you cut out a piece of your leg bacon and give it to your men, fuck yeah, you do. I just noticed that if you go into one of your raided villages with an army, your allied parties can still recruit troops. Oh, that's a bug then. Okay. Strong arms. +1 focus points into throwing. Troops in your formation gain 20% to their throwing skill. Bleh. Yeah, probably strong legs. You get strong arms only if you go with a throwing weapon character. Okay, Spartan. Increases your stagger damage threshold by 50% while on foot. Decreases your party food consumption by 20%. Okay. Sure, I can see that happening. Ignore pain. Increases your armor by 10% while on foot. Foot troops in your formation gain +5 armor. Okay. Probably Spartan, simply because of that decreases your party food consumption. Although I never had problems with food consumption in the late game. But still, Spartan sounds awesome. And Mighty Blow. You stun enemies longer after they block your attack. And you gain +1 health for every athletic skill over 50. What? +1 health for every athletic skill over 250? So you would gain 25, or 24, depending how the game calculates. 24 extra health by 275 by the time you get the Mighty Blow. Well, it's the only option that you get, but this is going to noticeably make you tankier. You will most likely be able to survive an extra blow from the enemy by having Mighty Blow. The mighty blow of the enemy will not be so mighty when it blows upon your face and your lower back. Well, depends on the porno. Okay, so yeah. Athletics sounds interesting, or at least more interesting than writing. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to be affecting much, but okay. And that's kind of it. The only thing that we need to check out now is the troops section. And apparently, now besides seeing the stats of a soldier, you can now see his equipment as well. So, Arborel, show me, what do you have? Ooh, really? You mouse over that shit. I see. Yeah, so it practically shows you all of the equipment slots on the left side. You just mouse over that shit, and it's going to show you the stuff. Although I was under the impression that that there's a bigger variety of weapons a soldier can now use. Maybe I was wrong about that. Okay. Let's test something that should have a variety in weaponry. Let's go with a Empire Legionnaire. Let's try that. Empire Legionary. Hello, Empire Legionary. What do you got? Fine Steel Paramerion. Fortified Kite Shield. A Pillar. Just one? Weapon tier 1. Or is it considered just a spear? I always was under the impression that a Pillar is a throwing weapon. Imperial Padded Shoulder Pads, 11 with scale. A good shit. For example, let's compare the Imperial Palatine Guard with the Aserai Archer. So, the Imperial Palatine Guard has 160 into bow. Good. He has a Step Warbow, which has 89, 66, 95, 80. 89, 66, 95, 80. Good. Now let's go to Aserai. Why is this not in alphabetical order? It kind of triggers me, but okay. You know what? Regular soldier. Footman. There we go. Master Archer. So the Master Archer also has 160. And he has 89, 62, 94, 78. 89. Okay, since I'm an idiot, 89 speed. 89 speed, 66 pierce damage, 62 pierce damage. What else do we got? 95 accuracy and missile speed 80. 94 accuracy and missile speed 78. So a little bit different in that regards. Also, I've noticed that the Imperial Palatine Guard has only 1 quiver at Bodkin arrows. Accuracy 100, 3 piercing damage, 24 arrows. While this dude has 2. 4 piercing damage, 23 arrows. So the Aserai Master Archer simply has more ammo to chug at the enemy. Yeah, I'm not saying that wrong. You guys see 2 quivers, so interestingly enough, the Imperial Palatine Guard does more damage with his shot, but he has even the arrow's a little bit weaker as well, even though there's 1 arrow. So you want more armor with less damage and accuracy, or you go with sorry, not more armor, more ammo with less damage and accuracy, or you go with the Imperial Palatine Guard with a little bit extra ammo. Sorry, with less ammo and extra damage. Fine Steel Spata, while that dude has a slightly ridged Flissa. Armor-wise, 36, 14, 14. $40, 12, 12. The Imperial Palatine Guard is just more heavily armored. Okay, and now, so we have this dude. Let's go Fian, champion. Okay, Fiani, you have 260 bow. So he's a goddamn American sniper, or Battanian sniper in this case. 260 bow. He has 2 quivers as well, and a 2-hander, which is better. He has a woodland longbow, 88 speed, 72 piercing, accuracy 94, missile speed 82. 9478. Okay, so just a faster missile speed. And for this dude, 9580. Alright, but still, even though it has less of an accuracy or something, it just has the superior damage and just more bow skills, so that's gonna convert into more damage and more accuracy as you go. Holy shit, stacked bodkin arrows, 32 per stack, so this dude has a whopping 64 arrows with 3 piercing damage, so yeah, definitely Battanian Fian Champion is the best archer in the game. Definitivement. And just to make a quick comparison, give me a Con Guard. This beautiful man, the Con Guard, is a horse archer who has 260 into bow, so my god, he's up there. 89, 62, 94, 78. So 89 speed, 62 pierce. So he has less damage, but he's faster by 1. 94, 82, 94, 78. Same accuracy. Slightly weaker bow. Just one arrow stack, which is just one arrow quiver, which is 24. He does have a glaive. He does have an Eastern heavy mace. So this is the new addition to the Crusade Con Guard, the heavy mace. What's the armor looking on this guy? Ooh, 43-2. Not as well armored as the Imperial Palatine Guard, but still pretty up there. Swadian. Okay, crossbow. Oh, yeah, it's not Swadian, it's Landian. There's my problem. Landian. I don't even know. I don't even know the highest tier. The Vlandian Sharpshooter. That's the one I'm looking for. Vlandian Sharpshooter, speed 63, damage 100, piercing, accuracy 100, missile speed 97, ammo limit 1, with a quiver of 20 bolts. But he does come equipped with a Pavish shield. So that's very good. For the chest piece, 38. Okay, so again, not as much armor as the Imperial Palatine Guard. So I guess you just have to choose based on what you want to go for. If you want pinpoint accuracy and survivability, you're going to go with the Empire Palatine Guard. If you want simply more ammo for prolonged fights but less damage, less accuracy, you want to go with the Astro Master Archer. If you see a Fian dude, definitely grab his ass. Fians will clearly be superior. But yeah, that was just kind of a quick comparison of how you can utilize the equipment feature for all the soldiers. Hey, Tubes Lich, welcome back to the end, my man. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it for the patch notes portion of the game. We can finally get into the game itself and play around and see what changes have been made and what's